Hey Harvest, one of my favorite things about the end of the year is when people publish their lists of the favorite books that they've read over the past year. As a book lover, I love seeing what other people are reading, what they're learning, but also thinking about what maybe I want to add to my own book collection or reading list. And I've shared in previous years my top books from the year, and I wanted to do that again this year in hopes that maybe there's something of benefit or of interest to you, or perhaps as you look for Christmas presents for the book lover in your life. So I'm going to share 5 books that I greatly enjoyed from the past year, and they're going to represent a variety of genres, so hopefully there's something in here that will pique your interest. First book, Michael Morales' book, Exodus Old and New, A Biblical Theology of Redemption. Morales is a professor at Greenville Seminary, and in this book, he makes the persuasive case that the concept of Exodus is a theme that runs from the beginning of the Bible to the end of the Bible. And by understanding this theme, we'll understand our Bibles better, and we'll understand the work of Jesus better. And this book is written for lay audience, college students, adults who are just interested in learning more about the Bible and how it all fits together. And I thought it was just a great work, and I'd commend it to you. Secondly, the creepiest book that I read this year, We Have Been Harmonized by Kai Strittmatter, a German journalist. He's written a book on the surveillance state in communist China. And he looks at the Chinese Communist Party's use of propaganda, their use of language, internet censorship, the social credit system, their rewriting of history. It's a fascinating look at an authoritarian regime, and it just gave me chills, but well worth your time if you're interested in world events and understanding some of the headlines coming out of China. Okay, switching gears. This book here, Little Pilgrim's Big Journey, it's volume 1 of 2. You can see my volume is well worn. I read both volumes with my kids, my 6-year-old and my 4-year-old, and they absolutely loved the book. It's a retelling of John Bunyan's allegory, The Pilgrim's Progress, and I think the adaptation is wonderful. The pictures are really first rate in terms of animation. And what I especially like is that at the end of each chapter, there's a summary explaining how this relates to the Christian life, and then some discussion questions that you can talk about with your kids. And I thought that was a helpful discipleship tool just with my own kids as well. Then the most heartwarming or heart-stirring book that I read this year was Compel Them to Come In, Calvinism and the Free Offer of the Gospel by Donald MacLeod, a Scotsman. And the free offer of the gospel is a question that some in Reformed Christian circles have asked, that if God elects some unto salvation and others he passes over, how can we rightly offer Jesus to those who might not be elect? And in this book, MacLeod addresses that question, but he does more than just give a theological answer. Really, he unpacks beautifully the saving work of Jesus coming for sinners like you and me. And I found not only my love for Christ increasing, but also a desire to be more fervent or zealous in speaking of Jesus with those who don't know him in my life. And so I'd highly commend this short little book to you. Last book, Carl Trueman's Strange New World. Read this on sabbatical. I liken it to walking in to a room where a conversation's been happening and you're wondering what's going on, and someone comes alongside you and explains, here's the backstory. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, that's why this is the way it is. Trueman's book traces the intellectual history behind the sexual revolution. And so if you're wanting to know why the world is the way it is with regards to the sexual revolution, the LGBTQ movement, if you want to understand why Disney movies are the way they are, you'll want to read Trueman's Strange New World, the short volume of his larger work, but really excellent. So those are 5 books that I greatly enjoyed from the past year. I'd love to hear from you, what you're reading, what you've enjoyed over the past year, or if you pick up one of these, how you found them. Feel free to drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'm going to be on study break this weekend, so I won't see you this Sunday, but Lord willing, Suzanne and I will be back at church next week to worship with you all.